This lecture is about domain model, conceptual and description class. Before going into the formal definition of domain model, let us try to understand what is domain model with our earlier example of building a house. We give lot of use and applications of the house we are going to construct. So this input we are giving to architect. With this input, he start to bring the concepts, like he start to add components one by one. Like this is where the kitchen space has to come. This is where the master bedroom. This is where the child bedroom, and this is the hall, and he bring all the components of the architectural design. Once he completed all the components, he showed to us. Then later we may do some modification. So that model, that initial model is called as domain model for that project. Now let us turn to our problem. Now we give the user give the use cases. I mean, this is how I am going to use the project to the developer. Based on the use case we have given, he start to bring all the conceptual classes, which are nothing but the real situation objects in a problem domain. So he bring all the conceptual class into the model. This model is called as domain model. Yes, the formal definition for domain model is it is a visual representation of conceptual classes or real situation objects in a problem domain. It represents real world concepts, not the software components. It may show concepts, association between concepts and attributes of concepts. This is also called as conceptual class or domain model, domain object model or analysis object model. Look at the diagram at the bottom. This diagram shows the flow of software product building. So we start with defining use cases to the developer. Based on the use case we have given, he start to define the domain model. I mean, he brings all the conceptual classes into the model. So use case tells how the people use the application, whereas domain model or visualization of the concepts of real world problem. Interaction diagram defines object responsibilities and collaboration using sequence diagram. So how these objects are going to interact with each other will be given by interaction diagram. The static view of the class definition is shown with the design class diagram. Domain model shows real world classes, whereas the class diagram shows software classes. That is the main difference. I have chosen play a dice game to understand the entire concept. Right? What is the use case of this playing dice game? The player requests to roll the dice. Yes, I am going to roll the dice. The system presents the results. If the dice face value totals 7, the player wins. Otherwise, the player loses. This is the goal I set to the developer. So the use case I have given. With this use case, he has to construct the domain model. Now you think of what are the conceptual classes possible for this use case. Do it. After few minutes, I will go to few seconds. We will go to next slide. Hope you would have identified the list of conceptual classes for this dice game. Let us see what you have. So this is the domain model for the example we have chosen. It is a very simple example we have chosen. So the domain model consists of 3 conceptual classes. One is player, obviously. The second is a die. The die face value determines whether the player wins or loses the game. Again, the dice game represents what is the face value of the present die, who it identifies which player on the game. So these are the conceptual classes we have for the player dice game, and the arrow or the link represents the association among conceptual classes. The player rolls the die, so hence the association is rolls. Right, now the dice game represents which player wins the game, whereas the die and dice game are connected with includes operator. It means that he is going to, this dice game is going to add the face value. Once the player got the face value as 7, the dice game is going to announce that the player the corresponding player won the game. So the associations are represented in the domain model. Now again I reiterate, the domain model is not a exact class diagram. It is the conceptual class diagram. Though the topic is about domain model, let us not stop there itself. We'll go just a bit further to understand what is interaction diagram, or otherwise called a sequence diagram. So this sequence diagram is going to tell about the sequence of operations takes place among the conceptual classes. Right. So what are the sequential operations takes place here? The player plays a dice game. Right, he rolls the die. Yes, hence it is connected with die. From dice game to die, the operation is roll. So for that we will be defining the codes. He rolled the die. So then the dice game collects the face value from the die class. Then the next player will roll the die. For him also the dice game will collect the face value. The interaction or sequence diagram is not stopped here. Again the dice game will calculate the face value. If the total face value is greater than 7 or greater, then the corresponding player will be announced. But here in this diagram we have shown few interactions among the conceptual class. So the next is obviously the class diagram. Here this is the partial class diagram. So now with this partial class diagram, you can understand the conceptual class and the original class clearly. So in the class diagram, we will have the class name with attributes and operations. Whereas in conceptual classes, even though we have all those things, we will not have exact set of attributes and operations. It's a rough. It roughly shows the real world situation. Here comes the steps to create a domain model. The first step is to identify the candidate conceptual classes from the use case given by the user application. Then draw them as classes in a UML class diagram. Add associations and attributes to them. Then we will see the steps one by one, more detail. How to find a conceptual class for a particular application? Definitely this particular application is not new to the market. Already some models will be existing. So reuse or modify the existing models. From the existing model you try to identify the conceptual classes. Otherwise you can use a category list. From the noun phrases of the use cases you can identify the conceptual classes. These are the three different methods to identify conceptual classes for the given problem. Now, how to reuse or modify existing models? This is the easiest approach. There are published well-crafted domain models and data models for many common domains such as inventory, finance, health and so forth. So these models can be modified into domain models with required modifications. It's very useful. You can reuse the existing model. You can make them as customized one based on your input. This is the sample use case category list. What are the use cases of this application? From this use case category list also, we can collect the conceptual classes. Now we are discussing how to find, how to identify the conceptual classes. From the business interactions, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of this business interaction? You can find what are the conceptual classes. For example, for the point of sale system, we have sale, payment, something, right? For the airline reservation system, for example, we will have reservation conceptual classes. Similarly, with the help of transaction line items, you can identify what are the conceptual classes. So these are the category list, a few category lists recorded here to show how to identify the conceptual classes. What are the categories you are identifying? From the category list, use case category, the next way of finding the conceptual class is with the help of noun phrase. Look at the paragraph given in the bottom line. So this paragraph is about process sale, how the process sale takes place. A customer arrives at the checkout with items to purchase. This is our POS system. The cashier uses the POS system to record each item. The system presents a running total and line item details, etc., etc. So from this paragraph, we are going to identify what are the nouns. Obviously, the nouns are concepts. So with the help of nouns, you can identify what are the conceptual class for this given project. So these are the different ways of finding conceptual class. The key idea behind constructing a domain model is identifying the conceptual class. So here we have discussed 3 different ways to find conceptual class, right? With the help of this, we can identify the conceptual class later. We can include this conceptual class into the UML diagram, which is called as domain model. While identifying conceptual classes, we should not misinterpret anything. It has to be identified correctly. So, if we follow this rule, hope we can identify the conceptual class correctly. So, what the rule says, if we do not think of a thing as a number or text in the real world, then it is probably a conceptual class. It's not merely a number. It's not merely a text. It means that it is going to do some useful operation. So identify those phrases, then it's obviously a conceptual class. This is what the rule says. Example, a store is not an attribute of a sale. It is not an attribute, it is a conceptual class. A destination is not an attribute of a flight. It's not an attribute. Next we will see what is description class. It contains information that describes something else. So the description, like conceptual class, we have description class. Let us see what is this description class with the help of product description. I have chosen a sample class called product description, which is going to have attributes like price, picture and text description of an item. With this product description class, let us try to understand what is this about. Assume the following. An item instance represents a physical item in a store. Here item means it's some physical item. An item has a description like, attributes added to that item may be price, its item ID, which are not recorded anywhere else. In that particular class item only, I have description of the item. Item is a class, right? So in that we have description of the item, which includes price, item ID, etc. Now consider everyone working in the store has not noted the price of that particular item. Every time a real physical item is sold, a corresponding software instance of item is deleted. For example, suppose I have 5 biscuits in the store. The item is biscuit and it's going to store information like what is the price of the biscuit packet and what is the item ID. Whenever the customer buys biscuit packet, it's getting deleted. Nowhere I have stored information of this biscuit item, right? So what happens when the last biscuit packet is sold? What will happen? The description of the item will get deleted because after every movement of the biscuit packet, the item count is getting deleted. So when the last packet is sold, the count will become 0. When the count becomes 0, automatically the item instance will get banished. So we will not have description of that item. Now consider all the instances of that item are sold, hence it is deleted from the computer memory. The last item is sold. So there is no information about that particular item in the memory. Now someone asks the price and detail of that item. Where can I get the detail? In the grocery shop, nobody knows the price exactly. So this is where the description class comes. So the solution for this problem is to maintain the description class. It's a special kind of class which stores the description of the items. So if you look at the diagram, we have an item. That item, just maintaining the description in the item class itself was the first way of doing the designing the class diagram. Instead, what we are going to do? We are going to keep one more class called product description. This product description will store the details of that particular item. So these two classes, the product description and item class, are associated using a serial number. Though the last item is being sold, the item class alone will get deleted, not description of that particular item. The assignment topic is to construct a domain model for airline reservation system. Thank you all students for your patience.